Our beautiful baby girl is here, and she made her memorable entrance in the car, just minutes away from the hospital. I knew going into labor I wanted to do things as natural as possible. I wanted to stay home for as much of the labor as I could, and that's exactly what ended up happening. We headed to the hospital, didn't quite make it there when she was born in the car. I really didn't want to spend very much time at the hospital. I wanted to get home to my other kiddos.
The resilient Jenkins mom had her baby recently. She had the baby in the car. She wanted to be as natural as possible, which I completely understand, but she had the baby in the car. She stayed in the hospital for 8 hours. Now, I don't think 8 hours is enough time to be able to stay in the hospital and make sure that she's okay, make sure the baby's okay, but that's her personal decision. Now, in the video, it does show that she's doing all the work. She's doing the cooking, the cleaning. Drew is just in front of the TV or in front of his games, just doing whatever he's doing, which is really sad. I think being a parent, it should be a teamwork. I mean, if the husband's there, the dad's there, he should be able to help out around the house. So I'm not sure why she's okay with all this, because she just had a baby. Another sad part of this is that they're still facing eviction. So hopefully they're planning something to make sure that when the eviction finally does come through, they have a place to live. I've seen the eviction paperwork showing that it's for non-payment. So I'm not sure what they're doing with all this TikTok money that they've been making, because they have been making. Remember, it was her goal for about 2 years to be able to monetize her account, kind of have like a family vlog situation, which I don't agree with family vlogs, period.
The Jenkins family drama just keeps unfolding, and if you thought things couldn't get any more chaotic, think again. Stephanie, already a mother of 5, has now welcomed another baby, bringing the household total to 7 people squeezed into a cramped one-bedroom apartment. With an eviction looming, common sense would suggest that her focus should be on securing a stable home for her growing family. But instead of stepping away from social media to figure out their next move, she's doubling down, monetizing every possible moment, even the birth of her latest child. Her delivery story wasn't just shared casually. She put it behind a paywall, making it exclusive content for subscribers. This only fueled ongoing criticism that she continuously used children to generate income without prioritizing their actual needs. In a recent TikTok vlog, Stephanie detailed her labor, claiming she gave birth in the car on the way to the hospital. She described the experience as overwhelming and chaotic, saying everything happened so fast that she barely had time to process it before the baby arrived. According to her, she was just minutes away from the ER when she had no choice but to deliver right there in her vehicle.
Our beautiful baby girl is here, and she made her memorable entrance in the car, just minutes away from the hospital. I knew going into labor I wanted to do things as natural as possible. I wanted to stay home for as much of the labor as I could, and that's exactly what ended up happening. We headed to the hospital.
While the situation itself is dramatic, the way she capitalized on it afterward raises a lot of concerns. After finally making it to the hospital, she claimed she was discharged after only 8 hours, saying she couldn't bear to be away from her other children, especially her toddler.
Didn't quite make it there when she was born in the car. I really didn't want to spend very much time at the hospital. I wanted to get home to my other kiddos, especially my toddler. I haven't spent any time away from him, so being away from him at night would just be weird. But I did spend I think 8 hours in the hospital, and then went back home that same night. I did try to eat something while I was so used to my own cooking. I honestly couldn't wait to get back home and just get back in the kitchen to make something. The kids' reaction to meeting their sister was absolutely priceless. All of their faces lit up, and they all made sure to go run their hands under warm water and kept rubbing their hands together to keep their hands warm to hold her. It was the sweetest thing ever. I mean, look at their faces. Like I knew she would, this girl instantly stole her daddy's heart. I mean, let's be real, she stole everybody's heart in this home instantly. I love that she decided to come on the weekend too, so her siblings got a couple days to stay home from school and get to spend some time with her. We're all just soaking in the baby cuddles and settling into our new routine of a family of 7.
But realistically, who leaves the hospital that quickly after an unplanned car birth? Medical professionals typically require at least a 24-hour stay for newborns to monitor vital signs, oxygen levels, and conduct essential tests to ensure there are no complications. Standard protocol is especially important when a baby is born outside of a controlled medical environment. So why was she in such a rush to leave? Was she actually discharged that quickly, or was this just another instance of exaggerated storytelling to boost engagement? If she truly left after only 8 hours, why wasn't she more concerned about ensuring both she and her baby were thoroughly checked? Even more concerning is how she turned the entire ordeal into yet another money-making opportunity. Instead of simply sharing her experience, she put a price tag on it, offering the full birth story as exclusive content for paying subscribers. She framed it as a way to connect with her supportive audience, but let's be honest, this was a calculated business move. The lengths some people go to in order to turn personal life events into income streams is astonishing, and considering her ongoing financial struggles, one would think the money she's making from these tactics would be asked to improve her children's living conditions, but time and time again, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Don't put it right there. I can't see it.
Adding to the chaos, her partner Drew's behavior raises even more questions. Was he too distracted gaming to get her to the hospital in time, leading to the car birth? His reaction after the baby was born was equally telling, barely looking up from his screen while holding his newborn, as if it were an interruption rather than a bonding moment. Despite their financial struggles, Stephanie seems more invested in ensuring Drew has the perfect gaming setup than she is in securing a better home for their children. Their one-bedroom apartment is bursting at the seams, yet his gaming station remains untouched, prioritized above everything else. At this point, it's not even about criticism, it's just common sense. Why splurge on luxury kitchen appliances, high-end skincare, and a brand new gaming chair for Drew while their 6 children are crammed into a tiny space with nowhere stable to live? This isn't about occasional indulgences, it's a consistent pattern of misplaced priorities that keeps her children trapped in a cycle of instability. What's most unsettling is how Stephanie continues to find new ways to turn her personal life into a financial opportunity. The paywalled birth story is just another example of how she prioritizes profit over her children's well-being, justifying it under the guise of sharing her journey with a supportive audience.
So earlier this afternoon, I was doing some things on my phone and I saw this comment pop up and it said, "She's really back in the kitchen already." Now, 9 times out of 10, I don't spend very much time on my comment section because it's just riddled with yuck. Like, honestly, the amount of evil I see in not only my comment section, but just in comment sections in general on social media make me think the good Lord needs to do another flood. But yes, I'm back in the kitchen with my diaper ass. One thing you're always going to see on this account is authenticity. The real, the raw, the ugly. I'm not here to sugarcoat life. No more will I be hiding in the bathroom to do voiceovers, so when you hear chaos in the background, that's just my life, okay? Now, honestly, I can never tell if a comment's trying to come off as offensive or just you're not capable of doing the same thing yourself, so you just decide to say it. Because the amount of people who have an issue with how independent I am and how Drew is not heavily involved in the videos, which, mind you, that has nothing to do with how supportive he is as a husband. Like, honestly, yes, I wanted to be back in the kitchen as soon as possible. I wanted to be back home doing my own thing as soon as I possibly could. I actually keep having to catch myself and remind myself it's okay to take a rest and take a break. My body does need the time to heal. Because I'm antsy to just get right back to it and keep up with my routine. Y'all, I cannot. This always just shocks me so much. Like, this baby was just inside me over just 3 short days ago. And despite the uncomfortable hormone flushes, my body is actually healing quite well.
It's obvious that this is all about making money, and it's not the first time. Stephanie has continuously found ways to turn deeply personal moments into profit, disguising it as storytelling and transparency. From pregnancies to evictions, every major event in her life becomes a calculated opportunity to generate income. Her latest move, putting her birth story behind a paywall, only reinforces this pattern, transforming what should be a deeply meaningful experience into a business transaction. She insists that her content is about fostering a supportive and understanding community, but the reality tells a different story. If her true goal was to use her platform to improve her children's lives, people wouldn't be so critical. However, donations and gifts keep rolling in, yet their living conditions remain the same. Naturally, people start asking questions: where is all the money going? Is it being used to secure a better home, buy necessities for the children, or just fund another upgrade to Drew's gaming setup? The ongoing pattern of monetization, paired with the lack of any meaningful change, makes it hard to believe that her children's well-being is her real priority. Struggling through hard times is one thing, but seemingly profiting off that struggle while doing little to improve it is another. Stephanie defends her choices by claiming people don't understand her independence, dismissing criticism as jealousy from those who envy her ability to manage things on her own. But is she truly independent, or has she simply run out of options? There's a big difference between choosing self-sufficiency and being forced into it because your partner refuses to step up. That distinction couldn't be clearer. She just gave birth, yet instead of taking time to rest and recover, she's already back in the kitchen, running the household alone while Drew remains glued to his game. A newborn requires constant care, and a mother's body needs time to heal, but Stephanie doesn't have that luxury because her partner isn't pulling his weight. If there was ever a moment for Drew to prove that he's the supportive husband she claims he is, this was it. But reality speaks for itself. Once again, Stephanie is the one shouldering all the household responsibilities while Drew prioritizes his virtual world over real-life obligations. Even the most basic acts, helping with household chores, watching over the kids, or simply giving Stephanie a chance to rest, seem to be completely off his radar. Parenting is meant to be a shared responsibility, yet here she is, managing everything on her own, without a break. Independence isn't about being abandoned to fend for yourself while your partner continues living as if nothing has changed. People in the comments have been asking hard-hitting questions. Where is the new baby going to sleep in the kitchen? Will she at least get the privilege of staying in the parents' space? Unsurprisingly, just days after giving birth, Stephanie has already started incorporating her newborn into her content. At this point, it's expected. The saddest part is that this behavior has been enabled by continuous financial support from followers, despite her making no real effort to improve her family's situation. So when does it stop? How much further will she go before realizing that her children deserve better than being used as content? Has Stephanie finally gone too far with this latest move, or are we just witnessing another predictable chapter in her ongoing cycle? Is she even aware of how she's being perceived, or has she become so desensitized to the backlash that she no longer cares? There's a fine line between storytelling and outright exploitation, and with every passing moment, it feels like she's leaning more into the latter. What do you think? Has this situation gone beyond typical influencer behavior? Has Stephanie's obsession with monetizing every aspect of her life become an unsettling spectacle? And the biggest question of all, where is all the money actually going? If her financial struggles never seem to improve despite her continuous earnings, what does that say about her true priorities? Stay tuned, because at this rate, things are only going to get harder to ignore. Thanks for tuning in. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Stephanie has crossed the line, or is this just part of the influencer game? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this unfolding situation. And if you want even more content, be sure to check out my other videos. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and I'll catch you in the next one.